creativity. We get free, be me, work it effortlessly. Do what you love and then allow the prosperity. You got this. Make good, make it your own. You know you got the power in your mind, heart, body, and soul to grow dreams, grow faith, grow you. Create authentically in the garden of good. Give, live, and love. In a God gonna dig, big, and trust. In a God gonna create, elevate, celebrate, and love. To the garden. Love, 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 love. Welcome, 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 everyone. Hey, hey, hey. Welcome to the Garden of Good, a brand new 12 weeks. I am so excited to be with you, and I want to say thank you for those who have been here since the beginning with Heart. We did 12 weeks of Heart, and I promise you we will not be leaving the heart behind. We will just be moving onto the mind and bringing the heart with it, okay? Will wheel, okay? It's a will wheel. And we like to say it with a Southern accent. We like to call it the wheel wheel, okay? The wheel wheel. Say it out loud. Unmute, actually. This is an unmuting time. Let me hear you say wheel wheel.
Wheel.
That's right.
Wheel,
It's
wheel.
the will wheel, but we only say it with a Southern accent. The wheel wheel. Okay.
Wheel.
And I'm going to spin this wheel. I'm going to spin this wheel. And I want you all popcorn style. So listening into each other, I'm going to tell you what we have on the wheel. We have gratitude. Gratitude, something you're grateful for. What's something you're grateful for? You know this, something that you know, something that you absolutely know. Laugh out loud. Somebody has a joke. They'll tell me, or I'll give you a joke because we're just trying the wheel this week. Think of your joke for next week. Dreams that you might have. I don't know who Steve Ray is, so if there's anybody that shows us their penis, just kick them out. Quantum leap is when we're going to look into the future a little bit. So, all right. I found this at a thrift store. You guys know I find toys and I want to play with them in the garden. So, all right. So you ready? Are we all unmuted? Let me hear you say yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I hear some yes. Yeah. So now I want you to listen to each other because here we go. We're spinning the wheel. Tell me a dream that you have.
More physical movement.
I like that.
Keep traveling.
Oh,
Peace in the world.
Harmony in the world.
Yep. Amen.
I think we can all vibe with that for sure. Let's spin the wheel again. Oh, here's a joke. Knock, knock. Interrupting choreographer.
Interrupting
5, 6, 7, 8. It's terrible. It's my favorite joke. Okay. All right. One more time on the wheel just because I'm a dork. Let's go to the quantum leap. Where do you see yourself in 5 years? Where do you see yourself in 5 years?
Retired
and living in my home.
Retired and living in
right here in the garden, celebrating our 5-year anniversary.
Oh, yeah.
Nice.
Yay, congrats.
I love it. Okay, well, we are going to sing because I am into singing. Why? Because it triggers the parasympathetic nervous system. Although before we sing, I'm going to ask you to mute yourself because it will be massive.
Okay.
It'll just sound really bad. So I wanted us to open wide the doors of our mind, because here we are, we're heading into the mind section of the book, and I'm excited that it's during the spring. So I wrote this chant today. Let's see if I can remember it. Open wide doors of my mind. I am wide awake. Open wide doors of my mind. I am wide awake. Wide awake. Wide awake. Wide awake. Got it? Open wide doors of my mind. I am wide awake. wide awake. Wide awake. I am wide awake. I know it's 8 p.m. here, and some of us like to go to bed early, but I am wide awake, meaning my consciousness is wide awake, yes? Open wide doors of my mind. I am wide awake. Open wide doors of my mind. I am wide awake. Are you singing? Wide awake. I see you. Wide awake. Wide awake. Let's just do that part. Wide awake. Wide awake. Wide awake. Come on and sing it with me. Wide awake. Wide awake. Wide awake. One more time we sing it together. Wide awake, wide awake, wide awake. Yes, thank you so much for that, for doing that with me. The garden is, I'm going to tell you, many of you know, but some of you it's your first time. This is week 13 of the garden, but it is week 1 of Mind. This is a year-long gathering. We spent January through March focused on the heart, and now we start on our mind quarter, where we'll be focusing on our thoughts, our ideas, our imagination, that idea. Those thoughts are going to be kind of going through our mind and watching our thoughts and meditation and visualization, all the things we do with our mind. And then we'll have body and we'll have soul. Every quarter, I invite you joyfully to pick a root and a fruit. My root for the heart was peace, and my fruit was the dollhouse. Now, for this quarter, I'm stuck. I can't figure out my root. I keep changing it. Okay. So I want tonight to be about exploration for all of us. If you don't know your root yet, that's okay. By the end of this week, we will all have our root. Okay. I know mine has something to do with commitment and balance, and I hate those things. I'm not really a disciplined person. But that's what I need, because my fruit, which I know my fruit is writing the book about the dollhouse. So in order to write a book, you've got to have discipline. So I know that I need discipline, but I just hate that fucking word. Important in the garden is that we remember kindness first, to ourselves, to my hair. Just open yourself. Gardener's choice. Camera is optional, and this is confidential, of course. And the most important thing to remember at the top is always that your creative expression is divine, and comparison is the thief of joy. Can I hear an amen?
Amen.
Okay. What I'm excited about tonight is this new, it's like a new quarter. It's a new time. And so we've got some new things that we're going to offer. We're going to have many different things that are new. But for tonight, an interesting way we're going to start with a poem instead of ending with a poem. With the heart, we ended with the poem. And with the mind, we're going to start our gathering with a poem.
I'm reading The Guest House by Rumi, which is a favorite. So thanks for asking me, Amy. This being human is a guest house. Every morning, a new arrival. A joy, a depression, a meanness. Some momentary awareness comes as an unexpected visitor. Welcome and entertain them all. Even if they're a crowd of sorrows who violently sweep your house, empty of its furniture, still treat each guest honorably. He may be clearing you out for some new delight. The dark thought, the shame, the malice, meet them at the door laughing and invite them in. Be grateful for whoever comes, because each has been sent as a guide from beyond.
We're going to get right into the mind. Okay, so I want you to get your journals out, and I want you to get a pen out. And we're going to start with a mind map doodle. Mind map doodle. So, grabbing your journal, I want you to take one of your favorite pens. Look, this is one of mine. And in the center of your page, sorry, I'm getting a new page out. In the center of a clean page, I want you to write, my good. My good. And this is your mind, okay? This is the good that lives in your mind. And I want you to put a star around it, however you want to make a star, okay? And you know, we did hearts for the heart section, right? But for the mind, we're going to do stars because the mind is that celestial place, right? It's like the heavens, it's the air. So stars is going to be sort of our symbol, but we're not going to leave the hearts behind. We're going to do hearts and stars, right? So I think my mom just entered. Hi, Mom, if you're here. If you are here, grab a journal, and we're starting with what is called a mind map doodle, okay? So in the middle, again, I want you to just write my good. And I want you to focus your mind upon your good right now, okay? Think about your good, and we're going to get into it. So first, what I want you to do is I want you to make 4 stars around that big star. We're going to do a little mind map doodle, all right? 4 stars. Time to practice stars. That's right, Tiffany. Now, this top star, I want you to write the word connection. Connection. Write it however you want. Use your fancy handwriting. Underline it however you want to do it. Connection. This is where do you feel connected in your life? Where do you feel connected in your life? We're not going to do it just yet. We're just going to sort of plant the seeds and then we're going to go back. So just write connections, connection or connections. And then on the bottom, I want you to write creation. Creation. This is going to be about your work or your purpose, what you create, your creative energy. Creation. Now on your left star, I want you to write the word reflection. This is sort of what you do for self-care, how you take care of yourself, your spiritual growth, what you do for spiritual tools. And then over here is embodiment. And this is the things that you do for your wellness, like your physical wellness, like things that you use your mind for in your wellness. Okay? So we've got connection, creation, reflection, and embodiment. Is everybody with me? Great. Let's start with connections. What I want you to do here is I want you to make 3 smaller stars. And I want you to think about where are the spaces in your mind that you feel connected? In other words, I feel connected when I'm doing the Garden of Good. I feel connected when I'm singing. I feel connected when I'm with certain people. Like, think about that, okay? Take a moment to think of 3 places where you feel very mentally connected. And think of those things. How they feel good. This is your good. Where are you mentally engaged, you know? Of course, I'm going to put the GOG. The GOG. This is your good. This is the map of your mind, the good that you have. Let's go down here. Did I give you enough time for that or need another minute? You know what I'm going to do is I'm going to talk you through this, and then during my talk, you can sort of keep thinking about these things. Basically, each of these things is going to have 3 stars, right? So maybe you could take a moment just to do that, just to put the 3 stars around each of them. And you can hop around or you can just sit on each. For creation, what are you creating in the world that makes you feel connected? What are you, it could be the same thing. I know I had GOG twice because that makes me feel like the creative energy of my mind is engaged. The creative energy in my mind is engaged when I'm doing ministry. Where is your mind engaged in creativity? ministry for me, speaking and singing. And then, just think about it. You might not come up with something right away. And then move on to your reflection, which is your self-care. I know for me, I love a good petty. That is something that makes me feel good mentally. Meditation. I know that one thing for me reflectively, when I feel mentally connected and what I reflect upon is when I can notice synchronicities. That's something for me. So what we're doing right now is we're just practicing with our mind. We're practicing finding the good in our mind, finding the good in our life. The good, how is it embodied for you? What helps with your mental wellness? So for me, it's I'm eating keto. That really helps my mental wellness. What is there something that you do for yourself? Do you take lots of good walks? Do walks help you to focus mentally? Focus is a great word, by the way, Breezy. Walks. What makes you, I know for me, when I'm cooking, it makes me feel very well. So after you do this, if you want to just pause for a moment, what I want you to do is I want you to draw lines from that main one to each of the four big ones. My little pen fell apart. My sweet little pen. And as you're doing it, think of those things and be proud of yourself for taking these mental, steps toward your spiritual growth, toward your goodness that you give the world, And then if you want, of course, you can add stars and hearts. You can add more. This is like just a little mental map of your mind, where you are now, like at the top of mind, And as you continue working on this, I'm going to give you a little tiny talk because I love to give a tiny talk. First, I'm going to take a sip of this beautiful thrifted mug that I got in San Diego. And I'm calming down, which is good. I was very nervous about everybody coming on late, but everybody's here. I'm so glad that you're here. All right. So, as we enter into this time of mind, I'm here to remind you how freaking amazing you are, how special you are, and that you are indeed a star flower. Because as I was thinking about stars and I was thinking about the garden, I was like, what is a star flower? And I went to look, and there's all these different kinds of star flowers. Look at how gorgeous they are. There's one called Scorpiolinus. There's all these different like names of them or whatever. But what we're going to do is we're going to talk about star flowers and how they sort of relate to your mental life and your mental journey. You're not just a thinking machine. You're like a luminous, growing, blooming being with a mind as vast and as radiant as the night sky. Yes. So let's talk about these star flowers. So star flowers are delicate. They are bright. They are shaped like stars. They're found in forests and meadows. They grow wild, and they thrive in dappled light, unfurling their petals in a quiet grace. Question here is, what do they teach us about our mind? Well, number one, your mind needs the right environment. So what is your mental environment? Okay. When you are feeding your mind with fear and stress and negativity, it will struggle to bloom. But if you cultivate an environment of delight and joy and peace, your mind will flourish. So ask yourself, what is in your mental environment? What are you consuming? Too much news? Who are you conversing with? Social media? If it depletes you, what do? we turn to something else. We turn on some positive music. We sit for a moment to reset. We read something uplifting. We take a deep freaking breath and we let go of that which does not serve. Can you just say, I let go of that which does not serve for my mental health? Okay.
I let go of that.
Thank you so much. Your mind needs space. A star flower, it just does not rush its growth. It does not force its petals open. And the mind also needs space, space for silence, for stillness, for creative expansion. In the rush of our daily life, we will often fill every moment with noise. But creativity and wisdom emerge in the quiet. Do you allow mental space? Try moments of silence. Do you allow yourself to daydream? Take walks like I was just talking about. Notice what happens when you allow your thoughts to breathe. When you just allow your mind to breathe. Number 3, your mind. Oh, I missed it. Anyway. Yeah. Wait. Your mind has roots, but your mind also reaches for the light. This is what I wanted to talk about. Yes, star flowers are deeply rooted, but they reach to the light. And your mind, too, benefits from strong roots, from beliefs and values and practices that ground you. And the way to balance grounding rituals is from prayer, journaling, connecting like this, coming on these things like this, expansive learning, reading a book that challenges you, engage in conversations that stretch your thinking, be open to new insights. Yes? And your mind will bloom when it's aligned. Star flowers bloom when the conditions are just right. Not too much, not too little, just right, the balance. Our minds are just the same way. If we're overwhelmed, we wither. If we're stagnant, we wilt. But when we align with our purpose, our clarity, and mindfulness, we bloom beautifully. So check in with yourself right now. Just take a moment as you're making your little mind map. Are you in balance? Are you overwhelmed or uninspired? Adjust. Beloved one, your mind is a star flower. Nurture it, protect it, let it expand, let it bloom in its own divine rhythm. As you care for your mind, you bring more light into the world. So be that star that you are, be that flower, be that luminous being that you are always meant to be, and so it is. Okay, so I have 2 crafts tonight, but I'm going to start with one, and if we have enough time, we'll do 2. Okay, we'll do 2. But the first one we're going to do is we're going to make a star flower for our, and what it's representing is your good thoughts. And I want you to think about, maybe you don't know your root just yet, but you do know like sort of what you're doing. Maybe you know your fruit, or maybe you know what you want to focus upon. So grab a piece of a colored paper that you would like your star flower to be. I picked like a fuchsia pink because it feels like spirit is always in that purple energy. And there's a lightness that I want. There's a lightness that I want to bring to my mind. You know, the mind can feel so heavy, overthinking, overanalyzing, right? I want some light in my mind. So this is a little bit of, the star flower has a lot of different leaves, the one that I want to make us. So we're going to fold over once, long to short, and then we're going to fold over again, long to short. Okay, so that's 2 long to shorts. And then go ahead and grab yourself a marker, because we're going to basically create 2 longer petals that we're going to wind up cutting out. You know, there's going to be several of them. And then on the other side, 2 shorter petals. Okay. Does that make sense? No? So basically, they're not going to be even. So I want one to be longer and one to be shorter. And it's just we folded it over twice. Do it again. Oops. We're doing it so that we can get multiples of them, right? So we take a piece of paper, we fold it over once, we fold it over twice, and then we're just drawing guides because we're going to cut out these two longer ones like this. Doesn't have to be perfect. And then turn it over and do the shorter ones. And it doesn't have to be perfect because we can just turn it over. So you should have 1, 2, 3, 4. Like something like 8 big ones and 8 small ones. A lot. There's a lot. Okay. And so this is going to be a real fun flower. I'll show you actually real quick the I used too big of a marker. I'll show you real quick the completed one that I did this afternoon so you know what we're making. I love it. I love it. This is it. It's going to be a real pretty flower. So, what you need is you can put it aside. What you need is you need something to glue it to, right? So, grab another piece of paper and we're going to make, you don't even have to fold it. You need two circles. So cut out about, 2 inches diameter. Actually, just one. Let's just do one circle. Sorry. One circle.
Black.
Oh no. Okay. All right. So if you can follow me without the video, basically we're going to put glue on the circle and then we're going to put the larger petals all around and then the smaller petals on top of it. It's sort of straightforward. So you're just kind of building your star flower. But as you do it, I kind of want you to think about, I just want you to think good thoughts, think good thoughts about all those things that you just wrote about, that each of these petals sort of represents this willingness to look for the good, to search for the good, to create the good, to focus upon the good, to deliberately create good in your life by being creative and by being expressed and by being in community and by connecting with your own mind. And you can just glue on top of glue on top of glue for this. Like I'm going to show you as I finish off this. I know I'm going faster than everyone, but I'll just show you because I'm doing it fast so I can show it to you. So like here is the large ones, right? And I've just been like gluing on top of glue, just to kind of get it to work. And after you get the large ones, you glue on top of glue with the small ones in the little spaces, like any of the spaces in between. And this star flower represents your expansive, creative, expressive mind. This mind that tells tales, this mind that imagines the best and the worst, this mind of yours that is wild. You're wild. Your mind is like more powerful than some kind of crazy number of computers, like your mind is insane. Your brain, your mind isn't even your brain. Your mind is outside of your brain. Your mind is your consciousness, right? So just fill in your, basically just making yourself a star flower. Now, if this is not resonating with you, you could always make just like literally a star. If that, if this is too much little little work for you. Think good thoughts. And if you want, while you're doing this, I would love for you to unmute and tell me a good thing that's going on, a good thought to have, a good thought in your mind's eye right now. Anybody got a good thought? See what I did? And once you kind of have your star flower created, I want you to put a few I am statements on it. I am, now for me, right now, because I don't know of my route, but I know I want to write this book, I'm going to put, I am committed to my, I'm committed. I'm committed. Because I am committed to finishing this book, you guys. I loved the creation of the dollhouse, and there were so many profound thoughts while I was doing it. Like for Wendy, like Wendy does those beautiful collages on the ground with leaves and stuff. Maybe your root, maybe your fruit this time is to write about that. Write some poetry about it, whatever it is. But to connect what we've done in the first bit to the second bit, I kind of want to see the things that we can create, the goals we can create together in the garden. I'm excited. I'm going to put, I'm excited because I fumbled tonight with the link and everything, but overall, I just feel like, wait, who just said my name is Star Daisy? Martha. Oh, I love it. It's your night. It's your night, baby. How about just, I am good. How about that? I am worthy. I'm worthy of finishing a book, right? And then, you can decorate your flower if you want. You can sort of make it your own. This is going to go on your, if you've just joined, basically all year, we've been making these flowers and different things that go in our garden. And people have been putting it up on a piece of, why do I always, poster board. So this will go on my poster board. And it's just the first little craft of our mind.
Amy, can you hold it still? Because you went like that. And
Oh, sorry, I went a little nuts. Yeah, hold on, I'll hold it still for you. It's not the most beautiful thing I've ever made, but it has the I ams. It has the heart and the star. And it's my own. It's a little pointy, and you can always like bend them up or bend them back. There's that way that you can take a like a pen or something and roll it up if you want. Roll it up. Give it a little flavor. Cutting flowers together. We cut and bloom. We're going to call it idea time. Idea time in the garden. And the first person to share their idea is going to be the beautiful.
All right, so I'm going to back up a little bit and go back to when Amy was giving away the charms. And I was quick to say I wanted one that I saw an angel in it. And so she challenged me to go into my own jewelry box, which is not that big. So instead I went into my craft box. And if anyone saw it on the page, I gave away some dream catchers that I made. And as that day progressed, and those went like gone, and they all mailed out on Monday. And I was stuck inside because we're having these really weird, forest fires in North Carolina, and the air quality was just like, oh, I just want to be outside hugging trees, and I couldn't go hug trees. So instead, I looked around my house and said, you might live tiny, but there's a lot of stuff in here to do. And so I looked at this magical box of beads that my friend gave me as a thank you gift for helping her. She gave me this box of beads. What am I going to do with it? I don't know. So I guess a few months ago, I ran out and got like little jewelry, earring clips and things and thought I can make some of those. And all of a sudden I was like, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and make a bunch of earrings. And I don't like to keep my crafts because I live in 399 square feet and there's only so much space. So I was like, what can I do with them? And then all of a sudden, this light bulb moment happened. It wasn't about filling my pocket and trying to sell them because I was like, I don't want it. I just want to give them away. And then all of a sudden, the little message inside my mind said, wow, Amy is a business owner. This is a business in some ways. And I can relate how much hard work that you do behind the scenes in order to generate. And I thought, you know what? I'm going to make these earrings and I'm just going to stick them out there to the gardeners and say, hey, if you want to make a donation of $20 for a pair of earrings, or if you want, buy them all for $100. If you want it, come and get it, but give it to Amy. So it was kind of like paying it forward for Amy. And I just was like, give it away. And gardeners, you purchased, you gave away, and you paid it forward to Amy. And I can't thank you enough because one, it was a beautiful moment of my hands keeping busy and having the intention. It wasn't something hoarding for me. It was about just give it away and then give to someone else. And imagine what the world could be if we all could just do that a little bit more and feel that energy of just love. So let your mind be free because sometimes when you can't be tree hugging, you can be doing something to hug someone else. And that's what happened. And I thank you all that found joy in my crafting. And it all went out in the post office this week. It's all coming to whoever wanted it. May it arrive. Even to Canada. I learned how to send to Canada this week. Thank you. So Amy, I just thank you for all that you do. And I thank the gardeners for stepping up and supporting you and paying it forward for all your efforts for us to be here and do what we do.
Okay, so this might be a little bit challenging because I don't have my little video, but I'll show you what we're going to do. I'll show you what we're going to make because I've already made it. Everything that we do, I always do it beforehand to test it out. And this one's actually not that great, but I loved this idea of creating the doors to perception, the doors of perception. So grab the doors of perception. Now, what I did want to show you though, and I wondered what's the door to your mind? The door to the garden of your mind. Is there a certain shape that you like? I liked this idea of making the opening doors and then it being like my constellation of good inside of it. So in order to make the doors like that, what you got to do is I picked to make my door tonight. I just felt like I'm obviously polka dotted. So how we make a door is, do you want me to leave the door picture up or do you want me to take it down? I'll take it down. Okay. So how we make a door is we fold the sheet over in half. And we cut out, this is where it's folded, okay? This is where it's folded. We cut out, I'll make a guide for you. Am I doing this right? How did I do this? Okay. This is the guide, okay? We're just going to cut this line and this line. So, it's so hard without my thing. So when you cut this one and this one, you're going to be able to get your scissors in the center there to cut the middle out. Does that make sense? So you fold it over and you cut the bottom, and then you open it up and you cut the center. And then you basically fold over the doors to make them doors, right? So this is what it winds up being, something like this. Was that clear? I don't think it probably was, but you don't need to make the guideline. I think the guideline is really unimportant. Did you guys follow that? Or are you guys over it? Up, Vicky got it. Vicky got it. Great. Oh, look at Joellen's making her own beautiful door. I love that. These are great. So basically taking this concept and this idea, I'm gonna kind of do what Katrina did, and I'm using a black piece of paper, and I'm gonna glue stick that together. I'm gonna glue down, the outside of my door to another piece of paper so that I can draw what's on the inside of the door. Does that make sense? So I'm gluing the paper, my black. I'm putting the glue on the paper that it's going onto, and then I'm just like sticking it together. And again, you could do whatever you want as far as the door goes. If you have a different shape or a different idea, this is mine, right? Like that. And then I'm going to trim off some of the sides because this feels like too ginormous on the side. So I'm going to actually make like cuts like this on mine because I'm getting a little bit creative in my second time. I'm doing like this. I'm like cutting the sides like that. Just to kind of give it a little bit of flavor. It doesn't have to be perfect. It's just going to go up on our craft wall. It's just a way to think, you know what? I get to choose how I perceive. This is our perception. Perception is the key to mental health, really. I mean, however we perceive is what we will believe, right? So what we perceive is what we believe, and what we believe, we can only conceive. I heard a wonderful speaker talking like this, where it was all rhymes, but it really made sense, okay? So first you have to believe something. First you have to conceive something. So you have to have an idea about something in your life. I am choosing that I'm going to see good, I'm going to be good, I'm going to experience good. So that is what I am conceiving in my mind. And then you have to believe it if you want to, here we go with goofiness, achieve it. If you want to achieve a positive frame of mind, happiness, peace, joy, whatever it is your root for the time, here's my door so far. If you want to achieve these things, you have to conceive them. And that's what we're doing here. That's what we do in the garden is we conceive, like I conceived the dollhouse in the garden. I don't know that I would have done anything with that dollhouse when I saw it, but I was like, I'm in the garden of good. I'm creating right now. I'm looking for creative ideas. I'm mining for good. I'm gardening for good. I'm digging for the goodness, for the creativeness. And that's kind of what we're doing here together is we're conceiving of the good. We're making the good in our lives. I just outlined my door, which I think it looks pretty cool. And now on the front of your door, you can do whatever you want. I made that eyeball on this one and I was very like literal door of perception, looking for the good. You could make an eyeball or you could make stars. You could make, I'm going to go with the eyeball again. So if you're going to make the eyeball, go ahead and hold your doors together so you can create that eyeball shape. This is my little first shape is the outside, right? And then a circle, and you kind of got to hold the doors together. Hold your doors together. And if you've ever studied, any kind of art, you know that the eyeball, the way an eyeball looks like it's And eyeballs when it has a little bit of light in it, so you can leave like a little shade of light out there. This is, I'm gonna add some eyelashes to mine. Some eyelashes. And I'm actually gonna color in my eye this time. I'm gonna color in my eye with this really like shiny blue. If you ever go, I find some of these great markers. I know I've talked about it before, but I love to go to Ross because they have such great art supplies in the back. And like I found these markers in Ross. They have like, they're like, I don't know if you can tell that they're metallic. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to open my door of perception, and I'm just going to put some stars, because the open mind, right? The open mind is like the open sky. And I'm going to put in the doors of perception, I choose to see good. I choose to look for the good. I choose to see the good. This is my sort of mantra for the mind moment that we're having right now. I choose right now to see the good. You know what the good is about, like me messing up the link and everything? The good is that I figured it out. I was like, oh, the link is expired. I'm just going to go ahead and create a new link. Like I panicked a little bit. Angel Rose will tell you I did curse for sure. I was like, but something similar happened when I was at church this weekend where, things were kind of messed up, like some technical things. And I was just like feeling a sense of patience with it all. Like, okay, this is life. What's in the way is the way, right? Isn't this what we learn? I couldn't find scissors. I love you, Tiffany. Okay, so this is my door of perception. I love this. This is going to go on my board. And inside it says, I choose to see the good. This is my door of perception. That right there was a crazy thought. So I'm going to choose a different thought. And I listened to Abraham today. I listen to her all the time. And she says to us that if you don't feel good when you're thinking about something, choose a different thought. And don't even look for a spectacular feeling. She says, look for relief. Look for relief. Usually it's mental torture that we're doing to ourselves. So being kind to ourselves, letting ourselves off the hook. I screwed up so bad on Sunday, you guys. I did something so awful. It was the same reason I've been fired from multiple jobs. I'm not even going to tell you what I did because it was just awful. And I left and I felt so guilty. I felt so guilty. And then I talked to my ministerial peer and she said, okay, you did that. And that's how you feel. It was basically me opening my mouth, saying something that I shouldn't say. And I was like, oh, well, I guess that's the thing. It's like you can look at anything anyway. Like I said the truth. It was a hurtful truth. It was not a good truth. It was not a truth I should have said out loud, but it was the truth. And I said it. And I noticed how it made me feel when I said it. It made me feel terrible. So the cool thing is I can let myself off the hook because it can't go back. You cannot go back. When something, you can just be like, okay, all right, watch it. This is the thing about ministry, being in ministry, is that I think I will fumble a lot. And then I'll have to sort of pick it up and keep going. What do? You quit when you make a mistake? Is that what you do? No, you keep moving forward, right? Oh, AJ Johnson. That's so funny because I was just talking about her. Hi, AJ. She's probably on break, everyone. So everybody say hi. So I was talking about how I was beating myself up for making a huge mistake on Sunday. And the thing is that we're human and we're going to make mistakes. We're going to do things that are stupid and terrible or that we call stupid and terrible. But we forgive ourselves and we let ourselves off the hook. Yes? Are you guys with that? Does anybody else have a big mouth like me? This is the perfect time for me to open my big mouth and say, thank you so much for giving to the garden. I am so grateful for the love offerings that come in. And I'm also grateful for the garden grams. They have been nuts going off the hook with the garden grams. My two little Tiffany and Chrysalin, especially, and Joellen and Lisa, both Lisas. Oh my gosh. I feel like everyone, Kat, have you been doing garden grams too? Everybody's been doing them that can do them. And I just love that. I think it's, like I said, I've been getting out once every 2 weeks. So I've sent out some stuff, but I have some stuff that I need to still send out. So just know that your donations, your offerings, they mean the world to me. The world. I mean, this is my dream would be that this would be my full-time job, right? That this would be what I do. Honestly, my dream would be that this would be a little television show or something like that. I'm an entertainer. You guys know I'm an entertainer. I would love for this to be something that everybody can watch anytime. It's a little dream of mine. House of Love and Light, Garden of Good. It always has to do with entertainment, making people feel good, uplifting people, nourishing people. So thank you so, so much for helping me do that. Now, we have been making, if you're just joining us, then you don't know that we've been making for the past 12 weeks, we've been making affirmation cards. And they're like oracle cards or affirmation cards, and they've been based on our root. Now, I told you that I'm not sure what my root is yet, but that I know I want to be committed. So my first affirmation card says, I am committed to this now moment. I know that seems general, but I feel like this now moment is truly the only moment that we have, right? And if I commit myself to being present to the presence, to being present to this moment now, to being present to the commitment that I'm making to House of Love and Light, to the Garden of Good, which is a year of creative exploration with 4 solid goals. If you haven't figured out, that's this thing, that's this jam. And if you want to get in on it, pick a goal. Pick something clear that you want to manifest by the end of this 12 weeks. I choose joy. I love that, Gladys says. I created an AI-powered joy vibrational system to raise vibration in minutes. It was really great. I love that. That's amazing. Okay, so you get to take a moment to think, what is my affirmation this week connected to my root? My root in the mind quadrant. Think about that for a minute. What is your affirmation for today? Today we talked about the star flower. We talked about being in the right environment. We talked about having a good mental space. We talked about being present. We sang. We've had ourselves a good time. So for your home play this week, I would like for you to decide on your fruits and roots. If you've been coming here for 12 weeks and you've been sort of doing roots and fruits, double down on it. Decide, I'm going to pick a real root and I really am going to focus upon this thing. And by next week, I will have a clear root for you guys. I don't know what mine is, and it's okay. Like there's no, this isn't like craziness. This is just like, finding a way to focus upon something. And then I know my fruit is the book, Chronicles of the Dollhouse, From the Acorn to the Pine Cone. That is the journey of the dollhouse. The other thing I want you to do this week, can you do this for me? Meditate daily for 5 to 15 minutes. Can you commit to that? Again, this is the garden. You can do as much or as little as you want. You do not have to meditate every day, but I promise you, if you meditate daily 5 to 15 minutes, you are going to have a mental lift. A mental lift. I would like you to do one more thing this week. Write an affirmation for your root once you figure out what it is, and say it every morning when you wake up. I'll have mine by next week to share with you, and you will have yours to share with us. Okay? Gratitude is the thing that I love to do to change my mind. I think I use it the most, for sure. What else do I do to change my? I call people. Saying that this afternoon, I was working in the living room this morning, and I just set up my little Google Home, the little Google Mini, and I said, "Hey Google, play some music." And the first thing it played, I shit you not, was One Step. Now, I don't know if it went through my videos or something. I don't know what Google did, but played One Step first. Then the second song it played was like a bat out of hell, I'll be gone when the morning comes. And you would have thought, I really wish somebody had a video. I had so much joy coursing through my body, listening to Meatloaf.
This goes along with the doors of perception. If you feel comfortable, close your eyes. Okay, let's all take a deep breath in and let it go. Again, in and release. One more time, filling your lungs completely and exhaling fully. Now imagine yourself standing in a quiet, peaceful hallway. This is the hallway of your mind, where every door leads to a new perception, a new way of seeing the world. Look around you. The doors are infinite, stretching as far as you can imagine. Some are familiar, doors you've opened many times. Some are locked, waiting for the right moment, and some are glowing, inviting you forward. You step through a door bathed in golden light. This is the door of goodness, the door that shifts your perception toward beauty, kindness, and possibility. As you reach for the handle, notice any thoughts that arise. Maybe there's doubt, maybe resistance, maybe part of you wants to keep looking for what's wrong instead of for what's right. Acknowledge it, and then gently place your hand on the door. Now take another deep breath and open it. On the other side, the world is illuminated. Colors are brighter, faces are kinder. Even the most ordinary things, like the sound of a bird, the warmth of the sun, or the feeling of your own heartbeat, are filled with quiet wonder. This is a world you have access to always. A world where goodness is not hidden, but waiting to be noticed. Where every moment holds something to appreciate, if only you shift your gaze. Take a few moments here. What do you see? What do you feel? Let this new perception settle into your mind like a seed. Let it grow. And when you're ready, step back through that door, knowing it's always here for you. Take a deep breath in and out. Bring your awareness back to this moment. And when you're ready, gently open your eyes. You're now seeing with new eyes, and everywhere there is good. And so it is.
All right. So we just take a moment to express gratitude for opportunities to be with each other, opportunities to create, opportunities to shine. And we recognize that when we align with our authenticity, our creative selves, when we allow ourselves to shine forth, we give permission to everyone else to shine their light as well. And in doing so, we become the light of the world and we allow this world to become the light. And so we just recognize this and we say, so it is, we shine. Amen. Abracadabra.
Slay, pray, slay. In the dark, gonna make good today. In the dark, gonna create, elevate, celebrate, and love. I'm Amy from the GOG, Garden of Good Creativity. We get free, be me, work it effortlessly. Do what you love and then allow the prosperity. You got this. Make good, make it your own. You know you got the power in your mind, heart, body, and soul to grow dreams, grow faith.